I'm Agma Malakar. I come from Nepal, the roof of the world. Lots of people don't even know that. Came here 4 years ago, in 2009, as an international student. And I'm studying computing at the University of Teesside. Not just computer as in programming, I do business in computing, so both the side of IT as well as business. I've always dreamed of becoming a businesswoman within IT sector. So yes, it is a difficult choice, but nothing is easy really. So yeah, something of my interest. When I started my education here at Middlesbrough, I was unaware of all the asylum seeking and all the refugee stuff that was going on within the various parts of the world. I started off volunteering at one of the organizations within Northeast called the Refugee Service, whereby I worked with people of different backgrounds, different walks of life.
What is the aim in your life? What do you want to become?
A businesswoman.
Yeah.
It wasn't just cultural, ethnic stuff, but there were people with the various health factors as well who were like unable to come walk. You know, we were there to support them basically with anything we can, going to their places and providing them with vouchers of food or, you know, anything. So that was how I started off. I ended up getting work at Youth Work, so part-time working as well as being a student. Well, everybody does that, but my work was more involved with loads of people, so I needed loads of dedication of time, which was fine because it was just my first and second year. And my third year, I went for my placement in London. Coming back here, this year has drastically changed the whole outlook of my life. Before I used to live with students, with my own friends, student apartments. But now I live with one of my relatives here in the UK, which wasn't really intentional. It just was coincidental because I just have 1 year left in my educational life, my bachelor's life, and I just discussed it with my family, my parents, and they thought, you know, why don't you just live with your relative? And I've been living with my relative there. What happened was really unfortunate, but the lady who I live with, my relative, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. This was a recurrent breast cancer. It wasn't the first time. The first time ever she was diagnosed was 2 years ago. This was recurrent, which made it more difficult. We were never expecting this. We were literally not expecting this. Plus, before she was ever diagnosed, I was needing to go through an operation myself. While that was happening, my relative, she just kind of found out a growing cyst in her right chest. So we thought, let's, you know, check it. What is it? So on my process of me having an operation, me having a surgery, which was already, you know, the doctor said, let's set a date. And there was already a date set. After, I think, 1 or 2 weeks ago, she was diagnosed with cancer. So it came as a very big shock for us. We were really set back because we thought everything was done for her when she was first diagnosed and she went through radiotherapy and it was all bad. We were really shocked, but I had to go through it because the doctors had said it, that I have to. For her, she has to as well because the cancer was literally just spreading. Now, the operation bit is fine. The doctors supported. There was operation, there was surgery, everything. But it isn't the operation anyone is scared about. It is the after, the post-operation, where you need all the care. The primary, the main care comes at that particular point. So after that operation, I think I've kind of got the responsibility on myself to kind of look after her, not because she wants me to or I want to or we need to. It's just a family thing. She started chemotherapy session now. But before that, there was a 50-50 chance whether she needs a chemotherapy or not. So there was a possibility that she might not need that support for so long. But that at that particular point, it came as a shock. So there was no plan really for her at all. They were scared to tell us about mastectomy because of the fact that they already knew that she was living on her own before me, because I was in London and then I came back and living with her. They knew that. They were a bit skeptical to say it. They did say, you know, do you have somebody or whoever or whatever, but no, I really don't think they assessed it properly. There was nothing of, there was not a backup, basically. So if I wasn't there, God knows what would happen. I'm not sure, really. After any surgery, a person is very, sick within. The person cannot walk, cannot talk about, cannot work around, cannot do household chores, normal chores like cooking and all that. She was lucky that I was there, because obviously, for me to eat and for me to stay in the house itself, I would be cleaning, I would be cooking anyway. But then the whole, the emergency need of somebody when I am not with her in university, and then that need. No, you got to do like loads of things really. Be there for the medicine time, like remind them if they're fallen asleep, to say that this is your medicine time, or be there for them because they're extremely depressed, and cheer them up. But what happens is that my whole education bit is affected on that point. I don't know why did I say that, but yeah. So I'm there doing all the cooking, cleaning of the house, be there for the person, for her. If she needs anything, just be there as an emergency, as how you call an ambulance, 999, say, we need somebody right now, right here, because this has happened. That's how it is. Now, on that process, we did approach the NHS, saying, can we have a nurse, a day nurse? Because, this is how it is happening, and I need to come for my classes at university. It's like spread out from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. So on Mondays, I need to come at 9 o'clock. On Tuesdays, I'm here till 5 o'clock. So it's really spread out. Because of that, we did approach NHS and we did say, can we have a nurse? Not a person who would live with us, but somebody maybe who could come at like 8 o'clock or maybe 9, 10 o'clock when everything is done, like when we are ready, and somebody to support her, and then go at 4 or 5 o'clock or 6, whenever, after I return from university. But it was, I wouldn't want to say it's bad, because we do understand that, nowadays NHS has been cut with all the fundings and there's so much NHS need to think about. But we do know that there are district nurses who can actually make time. There are incidents where we've seen that, but they directly said no. we couldn't, we cannot make it because of so and so and so. To be honest, they didn't even give us a valid reason. They just said it's not possible. If you need it, you can call the GP, and a district nurse will be sent to you. But no, a person cannot stay with you, or there cannot be a person on a timetable basis to come at 9 o'clock and go. So let's say, suppose I am ill and I cannot, support myself, but I have to be there for her because she's more ill than me. So in a way, it has affected us in our daily lives. Yes, that's the part I was going to come. But I think that is nothing compared to the effect I have been having in my education. Because it's said that in a university, especially in your final year, there's so many 100 hours you need to give in a particular week. I'm just giving 2 or 3 hours per day. So that's like maybe 14, 15 hours per week, which is nothing really. I have completely stopped my final year project right now. I haven't even done anything about it because I've got so many module assignments to do. During her whole operation process, the whole 2 weeks, I couldn't do anything. The time issue, basically, I don't have time at all. Forget about going out with your friends just for a coffee. Forget about all that. I don't have time for my education, really. Not because I don't want to, because I cannot. The whole health factor for myself comes as well, because I have to be there for her, strong. And for that, I have to take care of my health. And if I'm ill myself, I can't take care of her. So yes, my education is extremely affected, very, very much. My grades have not come out yet. The assignment that I did, it was just last hour. I had to submit it at 3 o'clock. I just submitted it at 2 o'clock, 58 minutes. There was just 2 minutes to deadline. I submitted. Seeing all that stress issues, I'm suffering from stress at the moment, and all the anxiety things. So there was this incident, right? She had her medicines out. It was finished. And I had to go take it. I don't know when to do the pharmacy. Well, she asked me for money, and I was like, well, she doesn't need to pay because she has got certain qualifications. And she goes, turns up the paper, and she asks me, which one is it? I don't know. I didn't know at that time. She asked me loads many times. It was a kind of bullying, to be honest. And I didn't feel really good. That's one kind of support that you can get, that, oh, okay, she's suffering from this, and she's, caring about somebody. So we need to provide her support, like, oh my God, what's going on? That kind of thing. Plus, what else can be done is, like I said, there are times when chemotherapy is a really big thing, right? The person is completely drained out. But she has got INRs to check her blood levels. Now, I would want, I can't take her to the GP because she's extremely sick. She can't call. And if I call doctors, if I call GP, I would want somebody to come and take her blood and do the test and all that. But there aren't any. They would say, okay, call the district nurse and we'll send you whenever they can. Well, we have faced it, and I'm just going to be honest about it. Maybe there are people who've got quick answers, but as I'm affected, we didn't really get that quick thing. We called today, they sent it tomorrow. There were cases when the nurse who came around was not helpful, was not smiley. I don't know whether it's because I'm brown, but it was a matter of they didn't even want to talk to us. It was really bad. And there was one case when a nurse came around and she just used hot water from the bathroom, and that's not hygienic. All that kind of support. Plus, maybe this one is very important. Well, obviously they can't help me education-wise because that's something I should be doing. And I've already mentioned that, well, they could send a nurse when I am at university. But one thing they could definitely do is, as carers, they should understand that, fine, there are carers, they're paid, right? The real carers, they're paid. they go home, they relax, because that's it. They care at their hospital, they go home, they have their kids, their boyfriends, whoever, they kind of change. For us, it's like a 24/7 thing, because anything can happen, but yet we are not paid, which is not really a big deal for me. Can be for some people who really struggle with money. If I'm struggling, yes, I would need money. But there are things like stresses for carers as well, like me, who's got so much going on in the head, right? There can be something like a social thing, like a gathering of all those kind of, carers, or maybe take us out on a, I don't know, the NHS can organize something and, don't know, maybe do a fundraising as such to gift us, or any, I'm not saying, oh my God, we need something, but it's just a refreshing bit.
Do you listen to Bollywood music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tujhe dekha to ye jana.
Where are you from?
Nepal.
I would want to tell all the carers like me, who are family carers, who've not been paid, or, well, paying is not really an issue, but the whole support that NHS could give. I think NHS should really push hard on those primary carers, because yes, there was a time, I think it was 2000s, when the whole internet booming came around, the whole technology booming came around, and the whole machines within the hospitals changed, and it kind of eased the primary carers, the paid carers' life. But I think they are there in the hospitals, but there are real carers in the houses, in the homes. Those carers those patients who can't afford those carers, and there are those carers like me out there. I think they're in worse condition than mine. We're out there. There has to be a support, and this is a message to all those carers that please don't lose hope. I hope this video kind of raises awareness amongst them, and I think they should all come up, and they should come up, and they should kind of talk to NHS about it, instead of all those NHS saying, we need this many computers or this many computers, and this is one of the real issues that the UK is facing. So that's it.